Hi, I'm Ben Bailey. In today's video, I'm going to take you through the Line 6 Helix LT. We're going to take a look at how it works, its strengths, and most importantly, how it sounds. But before we continue, let's take a look at the actual construction of the product. Here you can see that we have quite a sleek, neat design. Bent metal chassis, so very durable. Right here you've got your 12 touch-sensitive foot switches, which means that you can touch them and it will actually change settings within the unit, but we'll get into that later. On the right here you have your expression pedal with your lights indicating which of the two effects you can assign to it you've actually got active. You've got a universal volume control here, but you can further customize the output volumes. We'll get to that later on. Joystick and other buttons to help you navigate the user interface. 6 smaller knobs here which are to adjust parameters, for example in your effects or amp simulations, even your settings, but we'll get into that. On this side we have the preset navigation and your save, view, your amp and your setting buttons help you go through all those things. If we flip over the unit and take a look at the back panel, we'll see starting from here we have input for a second expression pedal if you so desire, your guitar input, you have 2 sends and 2 returns for additional effects or to go into the effects loop of your own amplifier. Your ground lift button here, so you don't need to remove the, you don't need to disconnect the ground pin in your plugs because that's a bit of a hassle. Here you've got balanced left and right XLR outputs, your 1/4 inch outputs just like a regular pedal, headphone output, your Variax guitar input for those of you with a Line 6 Variax guitar or the James Tyler Variax guitars, your digital output, MIDI because this pedal can send and receive MIDI commands, your USB connectivity used to update your pedal via your computer, and you can also use this as an 8-in, 8-out audio interface with your favorite DAW, which is very useful. On this side, your power. So any regular kettle plug that you use for your existing power supplies or some of your larger pedals, it's the same plug that it will accept, and your power. Now that is enough reading off the spec sheet. Let's fire up the Helix and see what's on the inside. So, this is what you can expect to see when you turn on the Helix. This is the signal path for a preset that I have for my band, Vinyl Paradise. It's a cool feature that you can actually name the presets so you can identify very quickly where you are. This is where my guitar signal comes in. This is the output, and all these blocks represent either an effect or, in this case, an amp. Let me just select that, an amp simulation. And I turn that on and off depending on whether I'm going into an amplifier on stage or straight into the mixing desk. All these effects are assigned to foot switches, so you can see something turn on every time I press another foot switch. Obviously it's a little hard to see in this view what's going on, so by pressing this button here you're taken to a performance view, and this way it's very easy to identify what you're doing. Everything corresponds. These 8 blocks correspond to the central 8 foot switches on the board. Very simple way of using the Helix, but very effective. Another way of using it is like this. This is a pedal board I use when I play for Irolosco. If we go to the signal chain right here, you can see that it's largely the same. I've got my main signal path from the top running down to the bottom here and coming out of the 1/4 inch output, but I have a second dry signal running all the way through and coming out of the XLR. And what that allows me to do is have my regular signal go into my amplifier, being picked up by 2 microphones, which gives me 2 wet signals, and then 1 dry signal which goes straight to the mixing desk so the sound engineer can apply his own effects or even record. These are great ways of using the Helix. It's how I tend to do it. But there are a few other ways of using the Helix. If we go into the mode, you can switch between presets like this, and if we go into global settings we can find some more settings over here. For example, we can have it set up so that you have 8 presets. You can have top row selecting presets and the bottom row turning on and off effects. You can have that inverted, so you have effects on the top row and different presets on the bottom row. You can have snapshots and presets. Snapshots are groups of pedals within a preset that you can set up to turn on when you press a single button. 4 pedals turn on and 3 more turn off. Stuff like that works. And you have other variations of these setups. So everything is very flexible. You can set your Helix up to work whichever way you want it to. So very, very convenient in that case. So when you first start off with your Line 6 Helix, you can choose from a bunch of factory presets. Very easy to find. Press down on the preset knob and it will take you to this list. These are my presets. If you go to the factory presets, you can choose from any one of these. There are lots of them. I think there are 127 in each folder. Lots of these, all based on a particular artist. Let's pick this one. I think this is a good one. As you can see, it sounds really nice. You can turn everything on and off just like you would in any of your other boards. Some cool sounds. But one of the strengths of the Helix is that you can create your own presets and rigs very quickly and very easily. Even if you need a helping hand, in this presets menu, you'll see that there is a section named templates here. And for the templates, you've got things like quick start, parallel spans. You've got all sorts of things, depending on what your rig is going to be like. You know, if you need exactly 4-cable method or 7-cable method, these are all things that you could, with your effects loops, you can achieve all of these things. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a preset from scratch, and we're just going to use an empty preset, a standard preset. We'll use this one right here, number 5, new preset. So, if I had to set this up the way I would use it, I'd go right here, and the first thing I'd add in is a volume pedal. Just a mono volume pedal right there, with a logarithmic curve. So there you go. You can see as I move the expression pedal up and down, you can see that the position is changing. So that's obviously straight away wired to that. And I'd also add in my wah pedal. I like the wah pedals to be at the beginning of my signal chain. Probably turn that up a little bit, maybe 430 Hertz, and that down a little bit. That's how I like it. As you can see, every time you select a block, the little square moves and selects the block, you have all the values come up, and they'll correspond to the 6 knobs right underneath here. Let's also add a quick amp simulation right here. We'll use an amp plus cab. You've got tons and tons of these to choose from, all inspired by real amps, and some of them, like these at the end, are Line 6's own designs, like the litigator. This is what I like. This one I quite like. So I turn the presence up. Treble. Take that out. That sounds good. Let's have a listen. It's a bit quiet. Let me turn up the channel volume. Yeah, I like that. Very dry though, so we're going to need some reverb. It's just as easy as this. Press down on the joystick and you scroll to select whatever effect or amp or even impulse responses if you want to change those. I'm going to get a reverb in here, mono. You can even go into stereo and the legacy. Now these are the effects off of the M series, the M5, M9 and M13. I've got lots to choose from. I'm actually going to pick this spring reverb here. I quite like that. That's good. Okay. And I like a boost. I'm going to use the kinky boost from the latest update. Take the drive down a little bit. Doesn't need to be that. That sounds good. Now I can press the bypass if I want to bypass that pedal, so it's now no longer in the signal chain. I'm going to add in delay. I like to have delay on when I'm playing. Transistor tape is good. And if I want to have this transistor tape linked to my tap tempo over here, I simply press in on the knob there and I can select, unlike the dotted eighth, is a good interval. I'll take the mix to about 17%. Take the feedback down a little bit. And now it's tied to my tap tempo. That's perfect, and I'll leave that on. How about a bit of compression now? I like the red squeeze, that's good. You can even control the mix, which I have at about 70%. So it's not too loud as well. Very easy. Let's have one of the new reverbs. This is my favorite. This is the plateau. And what I like to do is I take off the lower pitch here, and you can see when there are so many options that you'll need more than the 6 knobs. We've got a page button right here to navigate between the pages. Real easy. Oh, listen to this. It's one of my favorite new effects. Okay, so we have a small pedal board built up already. It was that easy. Didn't have to deal with patch cables, power supplies, unplugging pedals, and having to switch everything around, check for hum, check to see if they work well together, the pedals work well together. If I find that I want to change the order, it's very quick and easy. I can take, for example, this reverb, press action, it lifts up that block, and I simply move it around where I want it. I can even put it on a parallel path. Very easy to do, extremely easy, way easier than taking pedals apart and taking pedal boards apart. But now, of course, they need to be assigned to foot switches, and it's very easy to do. So I can select the block I want to assign, and just simply touch the foot switch you want to assign it to, and hold while you touch it, like that, and press OK, and now it's linked to that. And as you can see, it turns on and off like that. And if we go to the view, you can see that I have the red squeeze there. That's the compressor pedal. I'm going to do that for all of these. Now I'm going to put my resistor tape on here. I'm going to put my boost over here. This reverb over here. My amp I'm going to keep on. I'm going to put my spring reverb over here. That's great. So we have a small pedal board already. Now, if I want to change the color, for example, I can even customize things like that. You just tap the block you want to select, and you can see the square move around. And as you tap them, not only do the parameters down here change, so it's very easy to select something if you want to edit it, but if you hold while you're tapping it and press customize, you can change the name of your preset. You can change it to whatever you want, and you can, look at that, we'll just call it plateau again. Oh, oops. Let's start back here. There we go. Plateau, and we'll change the LED color to something else. We'll make it turquoise. How's that? Done. And now that's there whenever I want it. Simple. That easy. Just like a regular pedal board. Real quick and easy, just like that. Well, I'm going to put a looper on here as well now. So I'm going to go back to my view. I'm going to move these pedals back a little bit. Go to my looper. Put it right there. Easy peasy. Alright, and now I can save my preset. I'm going to name it YouTube. There we go. And it's that easy. So, let's have a little jam with this new preset that we've created. So now I have the Helix on the floor, and I'm going to use the looper in it to record some chords and then just jam over the top of those. For reference, we're just coming straight out of the Line 6 Helix using the 1/4 inch output and going straight into a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 audio interface, and everything's being recorded in Cubase 8. And I'm also using the Line 6 Litigator amp simulation in this because I really like it today. So let's go for it, yeah? So that was the Line 6 Helix LT in a nutshell. I hope you found the video enjoyable. For any of the specifications I mentioned, everything's listed down below in writing in the description. Feel free to like and comment and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. I'm Ben Bailey, and thank you for watching.